How you doing, Brian?
I'm good. I don't know which one of you to call a non today, so I just
You're in the top three, Brian. That's all you care about.
Mate, I'll take it. I'll take it. I hope you're both well, and everyone in the chat are all good. 3 valuable points, and you know what? A very good performance. I'm delighted.
What do you think about people saying, you know, with 10 men, we still stuck to our principles, but, you know, the chances we conceded, we absolutely got away with it because against a better team, it probably turns out very differently.
Yeah, listen, you can look at it. We were so open. We were so open, and if they did have a finisher, we could have paid the punishment, but they didn't. And I wanted to come on here especially and talk about one man and one. Obviously, we'll talk about others, but let's have a chat about Brennan Johnson, shall we?
Yes, please.
Let's do it.
Let's have a chat about Brennan Johnson, who, like I said, I've come on and defended and stood behind and whatever. What I can't stand is before these 3 games, Brennan can't shoot, Brennan can't do this, Brennan can't do this. What's he good for? He's nothing, he's crap, blah, blah, blah. Then he scores the winner against Coventry. Oh, it's only Coventry. Well, it was the last minute of a game before penalties. You put it away. Scores to give us the lead against Brentford with a very, very good finish. If people remember, it reminded me very much of Harry Kane against Stoke in the last season at the Lane when we won 4-0.
We were saying a Gareth Bale-esque finish from the San Siro.
You could say that. And then he's gone and scored the first one after going 10-man down. And it's like, well, he should be scoring against these teams. It's like, well, hold on a minute. A minute ago, he can't do nothing. And now he is scoring. It's well, he should be doing this. It's insane. But I'll tell you one thing I have noticed. And whether this credit goes to Brennan or this credit goes to Ange, all 3 goals have been scored by using what he's best at, more of a counter-attack. They've literally, obviously, Ben, like you said, it's been the first goal against Coventry was obviously Benton caught that ball through on the break. Brentford was picking the ball up high, and the same again today. So it looks like Brennan has either changed something in his game, or Ange just said, right, we need to get you more involved. This is how we're going to do it. And 3 games, 3 goals. What more can this kid do?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, he needs to back it up against Man United now as well. I mean, I was one of the ones heavily criticising his performance first 3 or 4 games. I don't think he was good enough, but I think ever since he scores the winner against Coventry, brilliant performance against Brentford, and he does the business again tonight. So this is all we want from him. We want him to perform and we want him to score goals, and he's doing that at the moment. So you can't complain. And whether you think his performances are good or bad, the abuse he got is never warranted, and that should never be coming to light. That's 100% you got to say. But you look at it now. Brennan 3 goals in his last 3 games. Dom Solanke 2 in his last 2. Are you starting to see that front 3 click, or you want to see more evidence still?
No, well, listen. Dominic Solanke, when we first signed him, I'll be honest, I was going absolutely nuts. Like, what the hell is this 65 million for him? Fair play, I was saying that. But then when you realise the style of play that we're going to play and what the kind of striker Ange wants, I was like, okay, makes sense. I get it. Obviously, he got injured. I think his movement and hold-up play against Brentford was great. Today it was exceptional. And even to score that 3rd goal, yes, it was another tap-in, but if you look at it on the replay, when that shot comes in, there's 2 defenders standing right by him. He's got rid of them, and he's put it away. 2 in 2. Yes, again, you can go, oh, it's Brentford, it was a tap-in. He's up and running. He is up and running. So, Brennan Johnson and him, is there a partnership developing? Is Solanke's movement helping Brennan? Is Brennan helping? Who knows? But it certainly looks a lot better than it did a few games ago, doesn't it?
100%.
And it was not just hold-up plays, pressing as well. I got the first goal, didn't it? His pressing, and then he got the chance for where he missed that 1-on-1. It was good, came from his pressing as well. So that element of his game is really going to be so important, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we saw that was some of the biggest stats about having him, wasn't it? The one of the key things was his work rate off the ball and his willing to start the press and closing down. I've been really impressed, even in the Leicester game where he missed a couple of chances. I've been very, very impressed with his movement off the ball, and his work rate for the team. I think them two had very good games. And you were talking about destiny, and you touched on another one. I think Archie Gray was brilliant. I thought he was absolutely brilliant playing at right back. Obviously, we thought, oh my God, Spence, what's going to happen? And obviously, I think Ange thought this is the way he's going to see it with Gray having the potential to go there. Then going down to 10 men, and we'll get to Dragusin. But I think Archie Gray, a lot of people have been saying, oh, he's not good enough. He hasn't got the minutes. It's his first game in European football. Comes up smelling of roses to me.
Yeah, I mean, I hate this narrative when people put on a kid that's 18 years of age, you know, he's not good enough. Like, how can you tell when a player's 18 if he's not good enough? But he definitely done the business on the ball today. I think on the ball in his build-up play, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I completely agree with you. But look, let's talk about the Bergvall and Dragusin situation today. First of all, let's start off with Radu. I mean, what's he doing? What is he doing?
Well, first of all, I thought, you know what? 28 seconds against Brentford, I was like, oh, you can't make this stuff up. And then it's like our first game back in Europe, the delay, the weather, everything. I actually literally thought to begin with that Drago had slipped because of the weather and it weren't a foul. You see it, it's a foul. It's lunacy. Rush of blood to the head. You just can't do that. With all the cameras that are on you now and VAR, you just cannot get away with that. You cannot get away with it. And at least Romero's back and he can go there. And it was so good. We all wanted to see the Dragusin Van der Ven partnership. Well, I took a lot from that 7 minutes. Wonderful. What a wonderful...
But Brian, Radu has put in now 2 stinkers now pretty much in the last 2 games. Sent off in the 7th minute against Qarabag. And I don't think he filled himself with any glory in the Coventry game. I think we all know he's a good defender, but is there any worries there from you?
I don't know if it's worries. It's like I think if he'd had a run of games, it's the easiest way to tell. His Spurs career has been so stop-start, and it's been one of those Google Maps, hasn't it? We just plop you for Street View. We just plop you in here because someone's injured or someone's suspended. It's hard to gauge and say, right, is he a success? Is he struggling? Is he? Because his whole Spurs career has been stop-start. And I was just trying to, when I was at the pub, is a direct red card in the Europa League? Is it a 2-game or 3-game?
It'll be a 1 game.
I think it's 1 game.
Oh, no, okay, so there's that. But yeah, I mean, that was a moment of lunacy. I was devastated for Bergvall. Devastated. Yeah. I think if there's one midfielder that we really wanted to see, I mean, Sarr needed to have a good game and get some form back. Bissouma, obviously coming back from injury, and you want minutes ready for him against United. But I was so upset with. But I would have rather seen one of the other 2 go off. I was devastated for Lucas.
Yeah, and you saw it in his face. You know how dejected he was coming off the pitch. I don't know if you saw it in your stream, but they zoomed into him when he was sitting on the bench and he looked absolutely distraught. But you know, maybe it'll a bit of character building for Lucas Bergvall. We know he'll be back stronger.
I kind of wish they had. You know when they do that the day after the on the pit, or what's it called on Tottenham? On their social, the close up or the reaction, the game after close up or whatever it's called. I hope they do it in the changing room with Dragu and Bergvall when they were just alone together, because Bergvall must have been absolutely steaming at him, and rightfully so. But yeah, do you know what? Like I said, was it a concern defensively? You're down to 10 men. They were. I must admit, they were a lot better than I thought they'd be.
Well, Brian, this team, I know everyone laughs at them because they're from Azerbaijan and they're called Qarabag, but they pushed Bayer Leverkusen, a very good Bayer Leverkusen team, all the way last year in the last 16 of the Europa League, and Bayer Leverkusen had to score 2 goals in stoppage time to get through in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I hands up, I wasn't thinking it would be such a competitive game. If they did have a forward, it could have been a decent. There's a couple of crosses where they should have finished them off, but thank God they didn't. I was very impressed with them, and two incredible second half saves from Vicario. Incredible saves. I mean, seeing him. And another thing before I let you go, a lot of people should be giving Ange Postecoglou a lot of credit, because after making 9 changes against Fulham, 8 changes against Coventry. Everyone thinking, all right, what lineup's he going to pick out? What's he going to do? How's he going? He went he did what I think 3-4 changes. Like he just tweaked, and he put out a very very strong team and showed his commitment or the way he's seeing this tournament. And fair play to him, especially with a big game like United coming up. So Ange deserves a lot of credit. Johnson deserves a lot of credit. There's a lot of people that come in for a lot of slack that deserve a lot of credit tonight. And Ange Postecoglou is right at the top of the list.
Brian, I want to read some quotes from the Qarabag manager, and I want to get your reaction. He said, imagine you are caught in traffic for more than 2.5 hours. It shouldn't have happened. We had to come ourselves. There was no police escort. It had a big impact on our players. As soon as we arrived, we were told in 40 minutes we had to start. We were not as prepared as we should have been, but these things happen. The Qarabag manager putting some of the blame on today's defeat on the terrible travel concerns in London today. What do you think of that?
I mean, listen, London traffic. I mean, obviously there was some really bad news with trains and whatever I heard and whatever. The weather appalling, but this is London, or that is London. I know what the especially around that trying to get to the game. Should have left earlier. Leave earlier. Didn't you know about London transport and London travel? Listen, it can't be helped.
I think they weren't banking on the A10 to be shut both ways.
Yeah, I mean that is a bit of a major screw up, and I mean I can only imagine how bad the traffic was. If anyone driving is probably going to get home about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Robbie says no police escort down Tottenham High Road. You're putting your life in your own hands.
Yeah, I mean, probably the Qarabag players could probably walk down there, and none of us would have known them. Could have just walking down there, stop off at Chick King, have something to eat, quickly nip in. But yeah, listen,
Brian, they were walking down Tottenham High Road in their all black tracksuits. The Tottenham fans probably thought they were the Firm or something, or the Qarabag Ultras.
Probably thought it was Jasper Tanami turning up 2 weeks later. That's what they thought it was. Like, look, Jasper Tanami finally turned up to have a ruckus. Yeah, it can't be helped, can it? When people are travelling in Europe, I think it's happened to us a couple of times at away games, but the London traffic, especially when weather and train chaos comes, can't be helped, and unfortunate.
So are we saying that the tactic should be from now on all home games, we just have to cancel all trains, and maybe that gives us an advantage?
Who knows? Just cancel everything. No cars,
I think every away team should walk down Tottenham High Road.
You know what? The intimidating atmosphere has gone from Tottenham, but maybe that's the extra edge we can have in the home games now.
Well, I have to say, and I mean, I don't mean any offence about what I'm about to say about the people in the stadium. It seemed very flat in there tonight. Now, I know it was delayed and the weather was crap, but it seemed very, very flat in there tonight. There's probably more atmosphere outside for when they were walking in than there was inside, because it sounded very, very quiet in there today.
They're all still probably making their way into the game.
I don't know what the capacity attendance was today, but I know there were a hell of a lot of tickets still on for sale before the game.
I don't know I can't remember if I've seen what the official attendance was, but it did. Listen, that's not me having a go at the Spurs fans. It was a late kickoff. The weather was horrible. It was loads of stuff going around the game, but it just did seem very, very flat there tonight.
I'm sorry, Brian. That's going to be the title of your video now.
Oh, yeah, that's all I need.
51,000 apparently. 51,000.
You've just given us the title. After a 3-0 win with 10 men, the fans were flat.
You know what? Your clickbait titles do me so many favours. Why not, brother? Why not?
Just before I let you go, Brian, Sonny went off with an injury today. If it is significant, it means probably Timo comes in against Manchester United. Would you want to see Timo? You prefer to see Mikey Moore? I mean, where's your head with it?
I would like to see Mikey Moore, but I've got a funny feeling, and I hope he doesn't do this, he's played Brennan on the left before. He might put Brennan left and Kulu right. And I really don't want to see that, because Brennan right now is finding his feet and his form at right wing. Let him carry on there, because you can move him out of position. He could not have a good game. It all stirs up again. I would love it to be Mikey Moore. I don't think. I think the only options you are looking at is Mikey Moore or Werner, aren't you? I think there's no other real choices. So yeah, I would rather more than Werner. But I really hope I can see him doing the Brennan Johnson left, Kulu right, and I hope he doesn't.
Yeah, I just can't see him moving Kulu out of the middle at the moment with the way he's playing.
That as well, actually, that's a good point. It's a good point. So who knows?
I think it will be Timo, to be honest.
Well, then let's see what that man can do.
Let's see. Well, we'll see you, and we'll speak to you in the build-up of the game, obviously, to get your predictions, hopefully, on Friday. But, Brian, thank you so much for coming on today. Always good when Spurs get 3 points, particularly in our return to Europe. So big up to yourself.
Correct. Big up to you all. Have a wonderful evening, guys. Laters.